So welcome everyone on this YouTube video, and today I'm actually going to share my research work, and this research is actually based on how the Nifty 50 is actually moving based on the planetary movements. So these predictions are going to be on a daily time frame basis, and if we see, so the predictions, right? If we see the predictions. So here is the Nifty 50, right? Today at this time, which is 29th April 2025, we can see the market has closed at 24319. These are the levels of Nifty 50. And if we see, based on the predictions and special positions of the punchak levels based on the D9 charts, we can have these levels as support 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is going to be the trend of the markets during these days until the next D9 chart punchak happens on the 8th of May 2025. So if you see, the overall trend of the market is going to be downwards, right? There is only one trend which is upwards, which is between the which is in the 2nd of May, and the rest of the days the market is going to be down. So these are the levels which can be used and followed, and so let's get to the logic of why these things are actually working and how it is actually working. So let me go back to my research, right? So in this research, what I am actually doing is that I'm using just a second now. I'm actually using the D81 chart here. Okay, this D81 chart is being used for predicting the daily time frame. Now, if we see the planets, right, the Saturn, Jupiter, and these two planets, if we see, the Saturn is majorly is a significator of the communism, and the Jupiter is a significator of the capitalism. Now, based on their positions in the D81 chart, based on the Rashi chart, right? We are just only taking the transits happening in the between the signs. So if we see that Saturn and its friends are in a powerful position, then they are going to take the markets down. And if the Jupiter and its friends are actually in a good position, they are actually going to take the markets up, right? So based on the assessments, we can actually find out what is going to happen in the markets, right? So if we see for 30th April, 9:15 Mumbai, this is the time when the markets actually start. So at that time, we can see the Jupiter is debilitated, the Saturn is debilitated, and the Venus is also debilitated. So if we see in the team of Saturn and Venus is debilitated. In the team of Jupiter, we can see that Jupiter itself is debilitated, and also the Sun is debilitated, right? So these are not in a happy state. So these planets are not able to deliver their significations. Okay. So Jupiter's and its friends have a signification of taking the markets up. So the Jupiter and Sun are not able to take the markets up, right? And the Saturn and Venus are not able to take the markets down, okay, because of the debilitation, right? Now, if we see Mercury is sitting in a friendly sign, okay? It is sitting with the sign of Saturn, right? And it is sitting with Jupiter. And Jupiter is right now not able to help in the bullish trend. So now this Jupiter is actually supporting Mercury by getting itself debilitated, right? And if we see this Mercury is getting strong. Now, if we see the Sun and Saturn, both are in opposition. Okay, both are supporting opposite trends based on the debilitation. So they are cancelling out each other, right? The Saturn and Sun is cancelling out each other, though therefore both are actually going to be neutral in this particular time, in this particular daily trend, right? On 30th April. So if we see, the Saturn is actually seeing the Jupiter, right? So the Saturn is actually not very happy, but it is actually seeing its friend. So it is actually making the friend more strong. The Jupiter with its stabilization is actually helping the Mercury, right? And if we see, the Venus, which is debilitated, is also seeing this Mercury, right? So it's a kind of not good for Mercury to actually through its signification. So one is in debilitation, which is supporting the Mercury, and the two are not able to support the Mercury because of the debilitation, right? So two of its friends are not able to support the Mercury, but the enemy is actually supporting the Mercury. So 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. It means the Mercury is not able to increase the markets. Now, if we see the drishti of this whole Jupiter and Mercury conjunction, it is actually happening on this sixth house, right? Sixth house is having Venus and Rahu. Now, Venus is debilitated, okay? So it is not able to increase its signification to push the markets down. But Jupiter, which is debilitated, is actually helping Venus, right? It is helping Venus Rahu to express their ability to put the markets down. And Mercury is also there, which is sitting in a friendly sign. So it is in a good situation, right? So this Mercury is also helping this. Now, if we see the drishtis of Saturn, there is no drishti on Saturn. Okay, so the Mars is actually seeing the Ketu. Now, Ketu is actually sitting in a neutral sign, right? Jupiter is neutral for Ketu. So, if we, it is not friendly, it is not enemy. And if we see this Mars, it is actually sitting in its friend sign, and it is seeing the Ketu. So, these two are actually helping out each other. So Ketu is getting some power because of the Mars. But if we see this Venus, which is debilitated, is also seeing this Ketu. I'm not considering the Rahu, because Rahu, if we are going to consider, then it is going to be an endless thing. We are not able to actually judge the systems. But we can see the Venus is actually seeing this Ketu. Now Venus is debilitated, so it is not able to help the Ketu in providing the significations of taking the markets upwards, right? So this Venus is going to cancel out the effect of the Mars that is coming on this Ketu, right? So the overall trend of the market seems to be downwards as per the chart of the D81, which is built on 9:15 a.m. 30 April with the place Mumbai, India, right? So that is why we have predicted the market should go down. And if we go to a next date, so the 1st of May is actually very bullish, but the problem is on that day the markets is going to be closed because of the Maharashtra day, and so we move to the next thing. So here we can see, let's make it Aries Lagna. So we can see the Sun is exalted, Jupiter is sitting in a friendly sign, Mars is sitting in a friendly sign, and the Jupiter is sitting in the own sign, Mars is sitting in a friendly sign, and Ketu is neutral. We can see the Saturn is in a friendly sign, Mercury is also in a friendly sign, Rahu is in a neutral sign, Venus is in a neutral sign. Okay. Acha, why we are not actually using Moon? Because Moon is transiting very fast in this D81 chart. So Moon can be used in spotting the trend on 1 minute time frame, but we are not actually interested in that. We are actually interested in taking the whole scenario, that what is actually happening in the whole day, right? So if we see the, not we are not considering the Moon here, So if we are seeing the sun here, right? Sun is exalted. Jupiter looks good. Mars looks good. Saturn looks good. Mercury looks good. Okay. Rahu and Venus are neutral. So only two bearish planets looks good here, right? Now we have to see the drishtis. So the Aries sun, which is exalted, is seeing the Mercury. Now Sun is in a happy state, and Mercury is also sitting in a friendly sign. So the Sun is actually going to support the Mercury to display its significations, right? So it is going to decrease the market. So Mercury is going to decrease the markets. Now if we see Rahu is neutral, but the Rahu is from its ninth drishti seeing the Saturn. So Saturn, it is actually supporting the Saturn, right? Although it is neutral, but it is supporting the Saturn, right? So Mercury and Saturn are taking the markets down. And if we see this Venus from its ninth drishti is also supporting Mercury, right? So Sun and Venus are supporting Mercury. Saturn is being supported by Rahu. And if we see this Jupiter, right? Jupiter, Mars, they are not being supported by anyone, right? There is no drishti of any planet except this moon, because this moon has been actually moving quite fast, so we are not actually considering this moon for the calculation purpose. So if we see, the sun is actually exalted, sun is in a very good position, but the problem is there is a lot of connections that are happening in the communist planets, right? So these communist planets are actually planning to put the markets down. The only thing that the bullish trend has is a own sign and a Mars. Now, if we see the drishti of the Mars, right, it is actually not happening on any other planet. Okay, if we see the Jupiter, which is 7, so it is going to be 5th, and the Jupiter is actually 7, 8, 9. It's not actually seeing. The Ketu is also not seeing anything. So the problem is that although the sun is exalted, but the sun is not able to support the bullish trend. It is more of supporting the bearish trend in this chart. Although Jupiter is sitting in the Pisces. So the thing we can say is that the market should go down, right? That's why we have put this thing for the uptrend, right? And if we go into the next trading days, which is going to be on 5th of May. If we see on the 5th of May chart, let's make Aries as 11, B81. So if we have the Jupiter sitting in a friendly sign, Mars is debilitated, Sun is in a friendly sign, and Ketu is sitting in friendly sign, right? The Mercury is sitting in a friendly sign. The Rahu is not sitting in a friendly sign, right? The Saturn and Venus is in own sign, Saturn is in friendly sign, right? Now we are going to see the drishtis. If we see, it looks like the communists are actually having more fun, right? So let's see Saturn and Venus. If the Saturn is supporting, it's seeing the Mars with its third drishti. So the Mars debilitated is not able to actually express its signification, and this Saturn Venus is actually giving the support to the Mars, debilitated Mars, right? Oh, sorry, the Saturn, which is friendly, it's giving support to the Mars. So Mars is able to give its significations, right? And if we see Jupiter, Jupiter is sitting in a friendly sign, but it is actually helping Mercury and Rahu. Although Rahu is sitting in an enemy sign, but the Mercury and Rahu combination with the Jupiter's drishti is able to actually pull itself out and make the markets bearish. Saturn Venus already bearish. Saturn Venus is already bearish. And if we see the Mars, it is getting powerful. The Jupiter is also getting powerful. The Sun is not that powerful till this time. And if we see this debilitated Mars is actually seeing this Ketu. So it is not able to express it. The Ketu is actually suppressed by the debilitated Mars at this time. So the Ketu is actually going to get very less power. So the Jupiter is going to be bullish, the Mars is going to be bullish, the Sun is actually also going to be bullish, right? And if we check the drishtis again, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we can see this Mars and Saturn, both of them are seeing this Ketu, right? And if we see, if both of them are seeing this Ketu and supporting, one is supporting and one is neglecting, one is giving a negative drishti. So we can say clearly that this Ketu is going to be neutral in the market. The Sun is going to be good. The Mars, only the planets which are good are the Sun, Mars, and the Jupiter, right? But the planets which are actually more powerful here are the Saturn, Venus, because they are conjunction. Their conjunction is happening, right? This makes them more powerful, right? And they also get the support from the bullish planet, naturally bullish planets, which are the capitalists. So the whole trend of the markets is going to be downwards on 5th of May, right? Now let's go on the 6th of May. So if we check, we have put the downward trend for the 5th of May, right? Now checking for the 6th of May. In the 6th of May, if we make this as Lagna, Jupiter is not in a good position. Sun is also not in a good position. Ketu is in a kind of good position. The Saturn is actually in a good position. Venus, although it is not in an enemy sign, but still it is having a directional strength, right? The Mars and the Rahu, the Mars is actually good. The Rahu is not in a good state. The Mercury looks good, but it is neutral, right? But it is getting the Saturn's drishti, 7th drishti from its friendly sign, so it looks good now. So Saturn looks good, the Mercury looks good, the Sun, which is sitting in the sign of enemy sign, is seeing the Saturn. So Saturn is not able to deliver its significations. Also, the Ketu is seeing this Saturn, okay, but the Ketu is actually good. So the Sun and Ketu, uh, this combination actually neutralizes both of these drishti. One is positive, second is negative. So Saturn is getting no drishti from these two, which are actually going to affect, because both of these drishtis were positive and negative, right? Now, if you see, the Saturn is actually now free from Sun and Ketu's influence. If we see Venus, Venus is actually in a good state, even though it is in a enemy sign, right? Now, if we see Saturn, Venus, and Mercury, now these planets looks good, right? Jupiter, on the other hand, is looking more anemish because it is sitting in Venus sign, and if we see if any drishtis are there on 7th, 8th, 9th, so there is no drishti. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, no drishtis. Mars, 7th drishti, is actually supporting this thing. So the Mars sitting in the 5th sign is saying the Sun and Ketu. So it is actually supporting the Sun and Ketu's bullish nature. So Mars, Sun, these three planets are going to actually increase the markets. They are going to be bullish, right? But if we see the Jupiter is not actually supporting this thing, and if we see the Saturn, Saturn is supporting Mercury, and Venus, even though it is in the enemy sign, it looks more bullish because it is having a Digbal, right? And there is no planet which is having Digbal right now. And this Saturn, good Saturn, is actually seeing the Mars and Rahu. So Mars is already good, and Rahu is actually, because of this Mars, good Mars is able to show its significations, right? And also the Saturn is seeing this Mars. So Mars is getting double power, Rahu is actually getting the power, but this drishti is going to be neutralized because of this. So the Mars is now out of question. The power of this Mars is hemmed by the Saturn. When Saturn's drishti and Rahu's position there. The now the only things which can take the markets up or down is the Sun and Ketu, and the Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. So clearly we can see that the Saturn, Venus, and Mercury are the only are three planets which are for the bearish sign, and Sun and Ketu are the only ones who are actually taking the markets to the upside. So clearly we can see the Saturn team actually wins. So the communists are actually in control on the 6th of May. If we see, we have put the predictions like this, and the next prediction is going to be on the 7th of May, which is the last day of this D9 Panchak, which is happening in this particular month. So if we see the 7th house, let's make this at Lagna. If we see, Mercury is having a directional strength, right? Mercury is sitting in the first sign. The Sun is not in a good position. Jupiter is also not in a good position. The Saturn is in a good position. Venus is debilitated, and Mars is also sitting with an enemy sign. So Mars is also not good. And Venus, which is debilitated, is seeing this Sun and Jupiter. So it is actually causing Sun and Jupiter to get more hemmed, more damaged because of this drishti. If we see Rahu not good, not in a good position, but the Mercury, which is having a Digbal, is seeing this Rahu. So this Mercury Rahu is going to actually be pushing the markets. Also, the Saturn is also seeing this Rahu. So even though it is in an enemy sign, this Mercury Saturn and Rahu combination is going to be more powerful, and we can see this combination. This is 12, 11, 10. So it's not actually seeing the ninth house. So if we see, okay, so the Ketu, which is actually in a good position, is seeing this Saturn, right? So this Ketu Saturn combination actually makes the Saturn more powerful, right? So we can clearly see the Saturn team is winning, right? And the Jupiter team is not able to win the war. Even though the Jupiter and Sun sitting from the enemy sign are seeing this Mars, which is also sitting in an enemy sign, which is making it more anemic. So we can clearly see the Saturn, Rahu, and Venus are more powerful. Sorry, the Saturn, Rahu, and Mercury are more powerful, right? And this Venus is actually not having any kind of drishti. Let's see, it's going to be ninth house, 7th, 8th, 9th, 5th drishti, no problem. Now see Saturn 4, 7th, 8th. Oh, okay. There is one problem. The Mercury is getting a drishti from this negative uh, negative Mars, right? Although the Mercury is Digbali, but we are getting this Mars drishti, which is hemping this Mercury. So Mercury is not able to actually deliver the results, but the Mercury's drishti on this Rahu and Saturn is getting more prevailed in pushing the markets up, because already in the team of Jupiter we can see the planets are being hemmed. They are not in a very good position as per the chart of this D81. So we can clearly say that the markets should go down. So this is the prediction: the market should go down, right? And these are the Panchak levels. You might have studied about Panchak, right? Now these Panchak levels can also be taken out on the D9 charts, right? So this is the thing which I actually wanted to share. Thank you very much.